morning. Today is October 7th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are late President Lee Teng-hui's state funeral and President Tsai and resolution of Taiwan-U.S. diplomatic resumptions. First, I want to talk about late President Lee Teng-hui's state funeral. Former President Lee Teng-hui was officially buried at the Wujin Mountain Military Cemetery today. Here are some points. At 8:20 a.m., Lee Teng-hui's granddaughter, Lee Kun-yi, and her husband carry his centenary and portrait. You can see over here, and this is Lee Kun-yi over here. You can see this is former President Lee's granddaughter, and this is his grandson-in-law, Zhao Zankai. Around 9:17 a.m., President Tsai was in place and waiting. We can see over here, this is the President Tsai standing on the first row, and Vice President Lai Ching-te over here, and here is the Secretary General to the President, Li Da-wei, David Lee. The funeral ceremony we're talking about begins at 9:36 a.m. Former President Lee Teng-hui's family attended the ceremony. I want to talk about the family because this is a private ceremony, and it's kind of very peaceful. And from the left to the right, maybe it's the last time that they will see in public. Here, these are former President Lee Teng-hui's daughters, and this is we can see over here is son-in-law Lai Guozhou, and here is a grandson-in-law, and this is his granddaughter Li Kun-yi. We know that former President Lee Teng-hui is known as Mr. Democracy of Taiwan. He was Taiwan's first democratically elected president in 1996. He once mentioned the two-state theory, 两国论, and its famous sentence is 民之所欲，常在我心. Whatever I have done as president of my nations, I've done with the people in my heart. People in Taiwan will miss former President Lee Teng-hui. You can see here is our President Tsai Ing-wen bow to Lee. And I want to say goodbye, Lee Teng-hui. Goodbye, Uncle Ah-hui. We will miss you. The second issue I want to talk about, President Tsai and the resolution of Taiwan-U.S. diplomatic resumptions. We know that the KMT brought out two resolutions yesterday and passed. One is to resume the diplomatic relations of Taiwan and the U.S., and the other is to pressure the U.S. government to assist Taiwan against China. Well, at the same time, President Tsai stated her firm position toward China. Here are some points. President Tsai visited the 6th Combined Wing of the Taiwan Air Force yesterday, and she emphasized that sovereignty of the country should never be compromised. Democracy and freedom should never be surrendered. I think that President Tsai is sending a message to the United States that Taiwan is a firm ally and will not give in to China. Coincidentally, we know that the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also stated in Japan that if China attacks Taiwan, the U.S. are going to do everything they can to reduce the tension. The so-called everything they can, of course, I think including military operations. China criticizing KMT. China's Taiwan Affairs Council spokesperson Zhu Fenglian rebutted KMT that don't do anything that damage both sides of the strait. However, KMT Chairman江启臣responded today. He said KMT stands by the state of the Republic of China. Well, I think what KMT is trying to wash out the pro-China image and to save itself. Otherwise, KMT might lose all elections in Taiwan. Something interesting is that former President Ma Ying-jeou is considered to be a pro-China 亲中派 or capitalizationist. We're talking about a 投降派. And also we said that he is totally out of the game. And he even said today that he did not know that KMT proposed a resolution to seek for resumption of diplomatic ties with the U.S. I think Ma Ying-jeou has been abandoned by KMT Chairman江启臣. Why? According to the poll for KMT Chairman election, Ma Ying-jeou only got 4.6%. I think it is the end of Ma's political career. After November 3rd, if Donald Trump is re-elected, he is very likely to promote the normalization of relations with Taiwan, including the recognition of the Republic of China. We will see what will happen. Here are the top stories. Today we have two confirmed cases. They are imported cases. One Taiwanese female in her 20s and returned from the island, and one Indian man in his 30s. First, let's look at the ultimate question. If China attacks Taiwan, Pompeo said, we are going to do everything we can to reduce the tension. In an interview with the Japan media, Nikkei Asia 日经新闻, when asked if China unilaterally attacked Taiwan, do you think that the U.S. is ready to engage militarily? Pompeo said that we are doing everything we can to reduce the tension there. We look to bring peace and not conflict. The shame of it is the CCP, the Communist China. And the last thing I'll say is we've only come to recognize that appeasement is not the answer. The U.S. will be good partner for security in every dimensions. He also said that the U.S. had a long-standing relationship with Taiwan. We operate under the same set of principles. Sadly, the Chinese Communist Party refuses to stand by the commitment that it made. I think Pompeo is referring to the commitment of Hong Kong because China broke their promise to Hong Kong. Talking about China's intrusion, Chinese fighter into Taiwan's aide and responded back to Taiwan radio broadcast for the first time ever. Taiwan Air Force warned the Chinese fighters that this is the broadcast by the Republic of China Air Force. Attention, you have entered Taiwan's aide, which affects our flight safety. Immediately turn around. Then Chinese fighters responded back and said, Taiwan region, this is China's PLA and I am undergoing routine training. Please do not interfere with my normal operations. At the same time, we can see over here, there are 3 U.S. KC-135 Stryker tankers returning to Kana Air Force and talking about from the South China Sea through the Baoxi Channel. On the other hand, KMT seemed to change its policy. But will it go to the pro-U.S. against China, 亲美反中? I don't think so. I don't think they will against China. But I think it might be 亲美和中, pro-U.S. and seeking peace with China. KMT Chairman called out China. The Republic of China is a sovereign country.江启臣said in a radio interview today, and he said that the KMT absolutely is standing by the side of the Republic of China, safeguarding its existence and sovereignty, as well as the security and peace of the Taiwan Strait. This is the most important thing for Taiwan. In response to Jiang Qichen, China official media, the Global Times editor-in-chief Hu Xijing said that, he said, looking at what KMT proposed and said at the Legislative Yuan, we cannot count on them for the future cross-strait peace and national reunification anymore. Well, of course, that's from the China side, because, as I mentioned earlier, KMT really want to do something to save themselves. As to the epidemic situation in the White House, military aide Jana McCarran, talking about that, she was confirmed positive, and she is responsible for carrying the so-called nuclear football. According to the CNN, top White House aide Stephen Miller tested positive for COVID-19, and he confirmed in a statement Tuesday that over the last 5 days, I've been working remotely and self-isolating, testing negative every day through yesterday. Today, I tested positive for COVID-19 and am in quarantine. Stephen Miller's wife is Katie Miller, and she is Vice President Pence's press secretary. She was tested negative, so I think Mike Pence will still participate in the vice presidential debate tomorrow. According to the New York Post, it is said that Mike Pence's physician said in a public memo Tuesday afternoon that he's healthy without any COVID-19 symptoms and have continued to have daily COVID-19 antigen tested and implemented PCR tests, which have all resulted as negative. On the other hand, Dow Jones swinged like 600 points after Trump rejects the stimulus plan. Donald Trump tweeted today, Nancy Pelosi is asking for $2.4 trillion that is no way related to COVID-19, and she's not negotiating in a good faith. So Trump said that he's kind of rejecting their request. And he said, I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiating until after the election. Well, I really don't know why Trump did that, because that will cause economic chaos and people will get disappointed. I don't think it is beneficial for his election. But, we'll see. This is The View with Catherine Chang, and I'm very happy to, kind of broadcast for you. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is the vice presidential debate, right? So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.